Rule 9, use leadership to enhance the performance of meetings. So in Joe's discussion, he talked about how every meeting has a leader, whether you assign one or not, and that to take advantage of that, it's worth your time to give people some training in basic facilitation so that as they lead that meeting, they can be doing it in service of the group. The word facilitate literally means to make the process easier. So that's the leadership job of a facilitator. It's also true that in most groups, not all, but most groups, there is somebody in that room who has positional authority, right? They're the boss in some way or another. Now, that person with positional authority can use that authority to facilitate and lead the meeting, which often happens, or they can use it to develop the leadership capabilities of their entire team. I want to tell you about a company that does this in an amazing way. So Zingerman's is a community of food-based businesses based in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they're led by a lapsed anarchist and his partner who believe in the kind of anarchy that's not about like tearing everything down, but is instead about building everyone up. And one of the ways they do that is through how their meetings run. So when you go to a Zingerman's weekly meeting, which is called a huddle, the first thing you'll notice is that up on the wall, there's a huge whiteboard with all these grids and columns listing out all of the company numbers for that quarter. And I mean all the company numbers. So it shows expenses, and it shows income, and it shows how much they paid in benefits and how much their customer review scores are. All of those things are right there where everybody can see them. And that's the key. Everybody is invited to that meeting. So when I went to the one at the Roadhouse, which is kind of a restaurant bar kind of pub place, everybody was there. The brand new dishwashers who are still in high school, and the front staff and the part-time hostesses and everybody, they're all there. And throughout the meeting, they go through and they update on the numbers. So here's what this week's expenses were. So number one, everybody can see what's happening. Everybody's building leadership capacity by understanding what's involved in the business. Number two, as they reported the changes in those numbers, it was not the manager reporting those changes, but the person who was closest to the work. So that dishwasher, who is in charge of making sure that the supplies are in stock, reported what the expenses were on supplies, right? So think about that for a second. To be able to participate in that meeting, those people all had to understand how to read that balance sheet and how to calculate the numbers that they were responsible for, that related most directly to their role. And they went through and they updated all the numbers. Now, that wasn't the first thing they did in the meeting. The very first thing they did in the meeting was a go-around icebreaker. On the day I was there, the icebreaker question was, do you think it will snow again before the end of spring? The question itself could have been anything, and I know it could have been anything because that day's facilitator got to choose the question. That was part of their job. And the facilitator for that meeting was a front of house hostess. In fact, one of the things they do there is they rotate who facilitates the meeting every month. Every month, somebody else from the staff gets to facilitate, somebody takes responsibility for note-taking, and somebody takes responsibility for timekeeping. So those meeting leadership roles are defined, they're trained, and they're shared. It's not something the manager's doing. It's something that people within the team are taking turns learning how to do and developing skills around. So what do you get, right? You've got a team where everybody in the entire team, top to bottom, knows how to read the balance sheet and is responsible for reporting the numbers. Everybody on the team has an opportunity to lead the meeting, decide how they're going to start it, decide how they're going to end it. Everybody on that team understands and can hold each other accountable for things like taking great notes. That's a way to build leadership and use leadership in your meetings that then builds capability, inclusion, engagement, and leadership across your organization.